You're listening to Who's Hot, the UK OCR podcast where Wil Chung, along with elite racers Becky, Neal, Chris Shipley, and the occasional special guest, discuss the UK OCR series and other important races in the OCR calendar to find out who's hot.
Hello and thank you for downloading the latest UK OCR Who's Hot podcast. I'm Wil Chung, I'm the host, and I am here, as always, with my two elite racers. I've got Becky Neal. Hi, Becky.
Hey, Will, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. And I've got Chris Shipley. Chris, welcome back. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. How are you? How's it going?
All good, all good. And we are here to talk about the recap of Rood Rampage, which was the fifth race of the UK OCR series, which happened last week, Sunday, the 14th of July. I'm going to go straight in, and we've all just seen the cat. Hi, cat. We need a photo of that. Hold on. Sorry, listeners. I know this is not great podcasting, but I need the photo, and we'll get this on the OCR. There we go. Sorry. So we'll go straight in to the top 10 of the results of Rood Rampage. Excuse me, in males, first place, Dan Tickham, second place, Jason Brunnock, third place, Finley Greenleaf, fourth place, Leo Brimacombe, fifth place, Liam Mitchell, followed by Jason Molan, James Burton, we'll talk about him later, Ramonas Wickes, John Paul, and Reese Sanders. And we have the female top 10. We have Federica Di Caria, first place, Ellie Brimacombe, second place, Shyla Dehaney in third place, Pip Rainbow in fourth place, Cheryl Beat in fifth place, followed by Louise Farriman, Emma McRae, Laura Hayward, Ruth Battersea, and Emily Bonney. Now, the three of us were out and away. Becky was out in Montenegro celebrating a wedding. Chris was supporting his better half at a golf tournament, and I was getting wet at Tough Mudder Manchester. So, to help us talk about Rood Rampage, we have invited Ellie Brimacombe as a guest on the podcast. Ellie, welcome to Who's Hot.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello. You're looking ripped.
Really?
Yeah.
It must just be an angle. It's not real.
Oh,
Good
right.
lighting or something.
Oh, it must always be. It's good. Looking good.
You are looking ripped, Ellie.
I'm
Welcome
definitely
and welcome and well done on second place this weekend. How does it feel to get on that podium?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was so happy to get my first podium spot. I had been pushed by a certain other team member that maybe it was my chance. So I took it because I wasn't going to race, and then I thought, no, there's a few other girls that aren't there. It's maybe my time. So it was, and I'm really happy.
Well, I've always said you can only race who is there. And Chris, Becky, before we talk about the obstacles, talk about the race in particular, we've always said there's no easy race, and there isn't an easy race, but yet it did seem, Becky, I'll go to you. This may have been a really good chance for Ellie, and you were that said person pushing her to go and race Rood Rampage, right?
Well, I don't think the only reason that Ellie got on the podium was because the people weren't there. I think Ellie's been on our shoulders for quite some time. So fantastic racing, Ellie. Well done. I'm glad that you got the opportunity to really kind of shine. And congratulations on your first OCR podium. That's right, isn't it? Your first ever OCR podium. That's really exciting. I don't think it's going to be the last one. So I'm excited to hear about your race. But I'm glad that you kind of had the decision to go in the end. I know it was kind of a little bit last minute for you, and you've got things to juggle and stuff to make that happen. But like that dedication means that you're going to go a long way as well, I think, and if you apply that to training and racing and everything. So yeah, well done for taking the opportunity and then actually executing the race, and then
thank you very much.
Kind of get in the position. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Before we talk about your race, Ellie, Chris, I just want to talk, because this is Ellie's first podium. Sometimes you just need that podium, that kind of push to get moving, and then things really start to happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, getting that first podium is something that you really, really remember. And it doesn't matter where it happens, but it gives you that confidence, doesn't it? It gives you that sort of, hang on a minute, maybe I do belong racing with everyone else, and like really, sort of stepping up. And you took some scalps of some people that are decent racers, and they've had really good performances in the past. So I think now you've got that mark on your shoulders to now like also do well again, but it shows that you are meant to be there. Nuclear Phoenix team, they know that already. They already sort of, picked you for their team. But they've already seen sort of glimpses of greatness or goodness and things like that. So yeah, it's really good to see.
No, that's good.
Ourselves on spotting talent early, I'd say. So very pleased to have you in Nuclear Phoenix, Ellie. Congrats.
No, I definitely do feel like an imposter, so it did make me feel slightly better.
As Chris said, and as Becky said, and please don't think that I was saying this was an easy race, because there's no easy races, but you took some massive scalps on there. Let's talk about your race. Just, talk about whatever thing that you want to talk about the race, either obstacles, the route, how well you was feeling, kind of where you took people on. Let's just listen to you about your race.
Okay. So when everyone set off, Fede always goes out in front, being Queen Fede, and I think we all kind of knew that she was the one that we were all going to have to chase. And it was Cheryl, me and Shy that were kind of in the front bunch. And I have been running a lot with Cheryl over the last few races. It's always kind of me and her back and forth. And Shy recently I've been getting like closer to. So yeah, we set off at not a ridiculous speed, but it was the longest I've ever seen Fede. So I was really happy that I wasn't miles behind. And it was hilly, it was tough, but I did know right from the beginning that because I know it is more of a runner's course, and I'm definitely more of a runner than an obstacle. I need lots of work on my obstacles, but I know I can run. So I thought if I can just get a bit of a lead going around the loops, then maybe I might have a hope when I get to the end for the rigs and the more technical stuff. But yeah, the race all in between that, it was muddy, it was wet, but I do work well at that, I think, because I'm just kind of like, I just keep going. I've kind of got a bit of grit, stubbornness in a way where I just think keep going. And even on some of the hills were brutal where they were placed after the tyre carry. There was a horrible hill to climb, and I really, really, really thought I could walk because I couldn't see anyone behind me. I thought, I could just catch my breath. But I thought, no, keep going. I need that time. So carried on. And to be honest, after the first loop, I couldn't really see anyone else. I kept seeing glimpses of Fede, but I didn't know who was behind me. I couldn't see anyone, which in a way I kind of wish I could, because I knew then I'd know someone was chasing me and I couldn't ease off. But at the same time, I thought, thank God, but I just need to keep going. So it was all good. And then got to the end part where all the obstacles were really closely bunched together at the end. And like I said, I need a lot of work on obstacles. I know I don't have the grip strength. I don't have the efficiency, but I've been really working on my running because I've got a 50 miler in a couple of weeks. So I haven't been focusing on obstacles, but I will after the 50 miler. But anyway, so first one was the 25, I don't know what you call it, but it was a 25 kilo hoist, which was surprisingly heavy. I went to first of all try and pick it up and it didn't move. And she said straight away, it's 15 burpees if you can't do it. And I thought, I've probably already got 30 burpees at the end, so I really need to do it. So managed to shift that one. Then it was the Weaver, which is just a bit awkward, but I did it last year and I'd looked up videos of how I was supposed to do it, because again, I wasn't following anyone, so I couldn't watch anyone. So I got through that one. And then it was the Firefighters, which I've only ever done once before, but that was at the British Champs not that long ago. So again, I knew I could do it. So I just thought I have to get through, because then I've got the dreaded rig. And yeah, the Torres rig at the end, it got quite a few people. It wasn't just me, which I was kind of glad about. But I don't even know what I did. I'd looked at it 1,000 times beforehand. I'd climbed the rope, and Leo had been saying to me, just use it as, you don't even need to climb it, just hang, just swing. So I was thinking that. And then the next minute, I think the rope got wrapped around my leg or something, because I went to grab onto the bar and just fell on the side of the rig and smashed my shin and cut all my shin up. So I have no idea what I did, but I didn't last long on it. And then I was straight into the burpee pit, the 30 burpees at the end. So Fede was at the back shouting at me, which again, I was like, oh, I wish you weren't here, but at the same time, I'm so glad you are. And then it was the van, which again, it was tall last time, so I remembered it from last time, but I think the women straight away last year could use the straw bales, and this time I knew we couldn't. We had to try at least 3 times, but word on the street was use the tyre at the back, or the front, wherever it was. So I did, and I clambered over it. And it wasn't so bad doing that, because I saw a few people kind of coming in and doing the half-hearted attempt of 3 jumps, because we were never going to reach it ever, because I think even some of the tall men struggled. But yeah, so I got it by using the hub of the wheel, and then up and over, and thank God it was done.
Nice. Yeah, sounds like it was a really good race for you, and it shows that where your attributes are really high is where this race sort of paid off for you. So if you're saying your running's good and you're training for an ultra marathon, you've got that endurance and that engine ready for this kind of race, because you've got a hard section of running at the start and then the obstacles at the end, but you've built up enough distance in between the other races to keep that position. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, I was very pleased. I had Leo obviously shouting at me saying, "Shy is coming, like hurry up."
Shy is always coming.
Yeah.
I felt that before. And also there's that picture of Fede shouting at you.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was no rest. So it sounds
I got to 20. I thought I just need a breath, and she was like, "No, keep going."
She knows how to work
I did
hard.
appreciate it.
Awesome. And so your background is in distance running, isn't it? And you said you're going to work on the obstacles more after your 50 miler, and I think you maybe got some little things to help you with that you got recently. So what's like the background and the direction, do you think?
I mean, to be honest, I don't have a great. I've done more running than I've certainly done obstacles, but I certainly don't have a massive background of running. I've always enjoyed it. But it's definitely something more I've been focusing on purely because of this 50-mile race that is in a couple of weeks. But I really enjoy the obstacle part of it, and I can't wait to actually be able to kind of not forget about the running, but put it to one side for a little bit to really concentrate and improve on rigs desperately. My grip strength, the way I just move, like when I get to them, I don't even have the confidence to know where to grab. I always want someone to watch, which obviously isn't ideal in a race if I'm stood there waiting for someone to come along to show me what to do. So we've got a couple of rig attachments now in the garden ready to go, so I can't wait to actually really, really try and improve that side, and then hopefully if I can do obstacles, then I won't lose so much time on all the other races, so I'll be more of a contender. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, I think that confidence will make a difference. That comes from, training in your garden, but also just doing more races and having a podium position now and beating other people is really kind of helpful for that. But just having, knowing how your body feels when it's tired as well is something sometimes you don't always experience in training. So having that understanding, at the end of the race, and then knowing how to change your technique and stuff, sometimes it does come from more racing. So that does take time. So you don't have to expect too much too soon, even if you are having really good training sessions. It's all kind of up and down, I suppose, isn't it? Progress.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think we didn't talk much about Cheryl beforehand in the preview show, did we? How long were you sort of running with her? Were you having a bit of a battle? Was it like towards the end?
Yeah, no, in the beginning, Cheryl went off with Fede, and she often goes out faster than I do, and I just always pray that she'll drop back, which normally we're always to and fro, but this time it wasn't too long. I don't know what it's called, but it's where you go through the bungee, you roll underneath the bungee inflatable obstacle on the first round, and that was where I went past.
Like a spider's web type thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one. And it was there where I went past her there, and Shy was with me for a little bit longer than Cheryl, but not a great deal. So then again, I didn't have anyone to chase, which I know works well for me. But yeah, so I lost them about there, to be honest. And then I just had to keep running. But in a way, at the first, I wasn't sure about, because the women started before the men this time, which was the first ever. And I was thinking, oh, they're going to straight away catch us. But I did kind of like it, because then even though I didn't have women to chase, I had men that were coming past me, and at least I know I wasn't going to catch them, but it gives you a bit more of a motivation when you have people passing you. It's not nice, so you run.
Yeah, it's less lonely, isn't it, when you've got a bit of competition surrounding you, no matter whether you're against them or not.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Pip had quite a strong finish, is that right? Or Cheryl had a few burpees at the end as well.
That's right.
And a very close finish with Lou. That sounded like it was pretty exciting. Did you see that unfold?
I did, yes. I was shouting at them both to use the tyre, but they both ignored me. So they both did their 3 jumps and then went for it. But yeah, that was good. But I did feel for Cheryl, because she had, even though I was watching her on the rigs and she got, like afterwards, her videos, and she got right to the end of the rig. I don't know how she didn't touch the bell, and then she had the burpees, and I think she fell off the firefighters, which she wouldn't normally do. So I did feel for her, but it was a really good end of the race. And yeah, Pip was brilliant. She is like the rig queen, so she flew through, and same with Shy, obviously very obstacle strong. So yeah, they make it look so easy, it makes me sick. But and you, Becky, obviously you weren't there, but I just dream of being able to do it like that one day.
OCR can be heartbreaking no matter how good your obstacle.
But a couple of people that do usually do the rigs did fall off, and I know it's so horrible, and I obviously don't like them falling, but I just thought, well, it wasn't just me. Obviously I didn't want them to fail.
Never underestimate.
That is the beauty of obstacle racing. It's the obstacles that make a difference sometimes, and we've all been there. We've all made those little mistakes. Even people who think themselves quite good at obstacles, that one mistake can cost you a race.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Brilliant. So you was talking about the 50 miler, Ellie. What's that? When's that?
It's in 2 weeks, and not this weekend, the following weekend, up in the Lake District. Leo's done it he's done the 50 miler twice and the 100 miler once. So now, and I've always been on kid duty, so now it's my turn to attempt the 50 miles while Leo does the kids. But yeah, it's my first. It's going to be a tough. Obviously, it goes into the night. There's no signs. I'm most petrified about getting lost, to be honest. But hopefully I will return. But yeah, this is just a challenge. It's just something different. It's just something, because Leo does it, I have to do it just to prove that I can do it too.
Nice. I like that.
Is there a bit of rivalry between the two of you at home? Is there? Do you constantly sort of have little ones and twos saying, "Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that"? And
yeah, 100%. Every time we ever come away from the race, we look at the percentages of, because often there's more men, his placing is further down than mine, but then it's like, yeah, but who did better? So we'll do the percentages of who got higher. You know, normally I come off better, but sometimes he puts me the first. But yeah,
in this race, I think very much you were in front, being second, and he was down in 4th place. So yeah, you've definitely beaten him in this race.
He might have beaten me. We didn't actually
come away. Result, yeah, for him for sure.
But yes, there's definitely competition there. But he's obviously really into it, so he pushes me to go out and make it a bit more doable, the training. So he's good to have around.
And of course, he contributed to the Phoenix winning scores at national championships as well.
Yes. So yeah, no, we both had a good couple of weeks. It's been a happy household.
Nice.
And then after the 50 miler, Ellie, what are you going to do after that? So you said you then be starting to concentrate on obstacles again. So are you looking at the Sparta series? Are you looking at the rest of the UK OCR series and start, or is there a particular race that you think you're going to be targeting?
To be honest, no, I don't have a particular race to target. I just want to focus 100% on obstacles, rigs. I think is there a Tough Mudder coming up, possibly, which is the last race in the series, maybe.
I don't know.
October, November.
In October. So I think that's the one that's been talked about. I've never done a Tough Mudder. So yeah, I think maybe again Leo wants to do it. So we might aim for that, because I've never done one. It's the last race in the series. Whether I get better points for the league, who knows? But yeah, we might be actually aiming for that one, to be fair. But I haven't signed up yet.
Yeah, because it's quite long as well, and a little weekend trip away up north.
Yeah, exactly. And now we've done a few of those and been able to leave kids, and they have survived. So now we're a bit more inclined to do it a bit more.
You can leave them alone. What, on their own at home?
Well, I was just about to say that sounded so bad. No, with the granny. Granny and granddad.
They'll be setting up traps and things for the burglars that are about to come round, aren't they?
The Home Alone all over again.
Yeah.
So that's probably the next race, to be fair.
Brilliant. So we'll talk about the men's race. I don't know how much you saw of the men's race and whether Leo is possibly around. But we had Dan Tickham again in 1st place, Jason Brunnock 3rd place, Finley Greenleaf in 3rd place. Chris
finally got that podium, didn't he? Finally got that podium. Yeah.
I don't know if we put.
Shall I go and see if Leo's around? I'll be back.
Yeah, so we finally said it with Finley. And the thing is, with this race, this was a run heavy course. And for Finley to be up there with Dan and Jason just shows how quick that boy's really become. And like, I don't know about you lot, but did you see the photos of the podium? Finley's more stacked than Dan.
Yeah.
He is ripped, bigger than Dan. So sorry, Dan, you're losing buff points to Finley now. So that's not good. I mean, you still got the speed, but Finley's definitely buffer.
Talking about Finley in his ear.
Oh, your hair's looking well good.
So
It's looking
listen
a bit
to the
long, mate.
podcast.
Sorry, it's not
Listening
good.
to the podcast, we've just got Leo on the podcast. Hi, Leo. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm just trying to rival Darren's hair at the moment. I know his is growing pretty fast. So.
I don't think anyone's going to rival that hair. It costs a fortune.
Yeah, mine won't stop growing. It costs a lot to get cut.
Nice.
So we were just going through the men's results, Leo. Well done on your 4th place. Do you want to give us a quick few thoughts about the race from a men's perspective?
Yeah, it was good actually. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like because last year was really fast. I think there was a few more. The field was a bit deeper last year, but then this year there was quite a few of us still on the start line, and I knew they were going to go out hard. I knew Finley especially, he just looked so keen. As soon as we got there in the morning in the car park, Finley was just like bouncing around. I was like, man, he's going to run so fast. So when they took off, I think it was Finley leading actually up the hill. There's like a hill you start on, you go in the corner, and Finley was kind of leading the whole way up, and Dan was still like in like 4th. He kind of steady start all the time like he usually does. And then as we got around the corner at the top, Dan sort of moved through the field a bit, but then Jason went with him as well. He sort of made the move, and then Liam I think went as well. And I wasn't sure how far they were behind me, but I was thinking I'm going to have to hold on to these guys as much as I can. And then there was kind of like the first 2 fields I think we ran around, and there was a few little obstacles over the what were they? A few like hurdles we jumped over, and then we did some ladder kind of things, didn't we? And then we went through like the inflatable with the spider's web on it, and that was when Dan really started putting his foot on the gas, I think. And then I noticed when we were going the fields, we were like switchback on ourselves. He'd made a bit of a gap, but Finley was so close. I was like, yes, super impressed how close he was. Just literally didn't look like he was going to leave Dan at all. And then when we got to the river, I think when we did the first crossing, or maybe it was the donuts, I think Dan had slipped in and got caught between some of the donuts. So he made a bit of an error.
Because he's so small.
When they passed me, he was in 3rd.
Yeah, I think.
I've seen it in pictures, and I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I think he either slipped off, or I think maybe the girls were on the donuts, and there was a bit of like we were sort of jumping past them at that point, and I think he'd gone in the water, and it was quite hard to get out because it wasn't that deep, but you kind of like to jump out into the donuts was quite tricky. And I think Jason and Finley were like, let's go, and so I think Finn went into 1st, and then Jason kind of made a move on him, I think. So I think it kind of like went between them 3. And even when we got on the pontoon, Dan was still 3rd.
What about the seesaw, that inflatable thing? Was that there?
It
wasn't there, no.
It was in that location between the 2 last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, Ellie was dreading that as well because I know last year I think Becky you
Get
helped her
over
up.
it, yeah. And I wonder whether Finley had been able to.
Yeah, she was thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do this if Becky can't throw me over it. So she was worried. And then so that was quite a lot of running on those fields. So kind of they'd open up a bit of a gap then on me and Liam, and I was aware that James was behind me as well. So when we were going over the pontoons, kind of came out no monkey bars as well, which was a shame because I quite enjoyed that last year. They had the monkey bars over the inflatable pool. So that was a shame. And then we had a tyre carry up the hill, which was pretty nasty, wasn't it? Double tyre carry. Yeah, 2 tyres. And that was horrible. And then that's when I first saw James Burton's grinning face. He was so happy to be back out there suffering. You could just see the joy on his face. He was shouting at you and he shouting at everyone, wasn't he? Just like, he was really hyped up. And Ramunas and who else was behind him? Who?
John Paul.
No, John Paul. No, it wasn't John.
Sanders.
Yeah, there was someone at Ramunas and Jason.
Jason Molam.
Yeah, Marlon. Yeah, he was there as well, and he was sort of battling. So it was quite close. But then, the front 3 just kind of gapped it, and then I didn't really see what happened from there on out. I know that Jason sort of held on to 2nd, and towards the end on the last carry on the 2nd lap, I started to see Finley again. But I was kind of just battling out with Liam the whole time. Liam was really making me work, and I'd been with him on the British Champs as well before I fell off one of the obstacles and did a penalty loop. So I knew me and him were pretty similar. So I knew he was going to work me. And I wasn't really prepared for it, to be honest. I'd taken the time where we were going to just not do any more races for a while, but James convinced us. And Becky, yeah, it was all of them. They sort of pressured us, and
Team
I was
tactic, yeah.
drinking
God,
beer
how dare
and not doing very good training. So
Let's talk about James actually, because he's in my notes. James Burton's back.
yeah, really back as well. He was even on the start line. It was Finley and him were like so hyper. James is just like jumping around all over the place, wasn't he? So excited.
He can get really excitable, yeah.
Yeah, he was like literally just literally at
I
the
think
start
the
line.
James is back.
And he was running really well, and he was doing really good. I was thinking this is gonna be so bad if he just beats me on his first race back. So I was so happy when he didn't. And he had not 30 burpees at the end. I don't know what he fell off. Did he fall off Taurus? Yeah.
Probably his shoulder still isn't quite 100%.
Yeah.
I was wondering that as we went into the last few rigs, and they were really hard. I'm sure you've spoken about this, but the last few rigs were super hard. Like it was just it wasn't that they were too technical. It was that they were just all so condensed together.
Yeah,
And arms, and it was the Titan, do they call it? Where you pull the kettlebell up.
The hoist thing, yeah.
Hoist, yeah.
And pulley over top, right? There's no pulley for it. It just kind of has to rub over the top of the thing.
So much friction weight. It just felt like it wasn't moving, and it was 32 kilos for the men, I think, and 25 for the women. So it's pretty heavy. And I don't know what they are in Sparta, but it felt so hard compared to the Spartan ones. But I'm probably on the heavier. Well, I'm definitely on the heavier end of the guys, and I was hardly moving it. Like when I was sitting down on it, it just wasn't budging. Liam actually got on it next to me. I'd kind of put a little bit of a surge in just to get ahead of him, and he couldn't move it. He straight away tried to move it and just called out, what's the penalty, and jumped straight into a penalty. So, and that was 15 burpees for that one. So when that happened, I was kind of like a bit relieved because I had a bit more of a gap, but I kind of knew Toros could trip me up as well as it did in the British Champs. But yeah, it was a super good race, really fun, and I'm so glad we went. We weren't overly sure we were going to do it, but we were happy in the end, weren't we?
We went.
Good day out. But yeah, James Burton's definitely back. Hopefully he's back for good.
Burton's back.
Burton's
I think
back.
everyone needs to be worried about that.
Yeah.
But it's good to see. It's good to see. I don't know what's going to happen though, because if he's not doing like presidential work, the whole of Boss is going to go falling downhill. I think.
We have to protect him at all costs.
Yeah.
For the good of the sport.
Yeah, we don't want his ear getting blown off or anything, do we?
Leah, we were talking to earlier about how you guys have got, going to focus on doing some more obstacle training in particular soon. And I know that, is it your mum is quite into like keeping tabs on everyone in the OCR world, and you're
mainly Dash. Yeah, she's definitely Dash is like the number one. Every time, what did I? Oh, I think it was total. Was it no Born Survivor? I beat him in, and I was so. I know it was a tough one for him, and I knew he'd done the marathon like the week before maybe, and so I thought across the finish line, I was like, Mum, I beat Das. She was like, yeah, he did the marathon last week and got such a good time. And I was like, wow. So literally every time, Mum's always been good at that, putting me back in my place. So I was pretty put back in it there. But yeah, no, she's got a good eye on what's going on. She likes following it. She's like everyone's number one supporter for any sport.
Yeah.
I think this weekend actually she was a bit annoyed we didn't invite her. Yeah, she on the phone she was like, thanks for not inviting me. So she wants to come to everything.
I think with that kind of support and your dedication for the obstacles coming up, you guys are going to go far, I reckon.
Hopefully. I don't know. The obstacles always trip us up, don't they?
Me, you're all right then.
Blagging it, I think, is sometimes come unstuck. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll try. Definitely the kids are looking better than us at the moment. So we can take some tips off of them. But yeah, no, it's such a good field at the moment. So it's good. And I hope we'll see a lot more women coming in. Would be really good to see as well. So I know Ellie's probably said, but she doesn't always feel the most confident. But then I keep just making sure she's entering. And
I said I have imposter syndrome, but I am beginning to feel. I think because I've over the last few, this is my first podium, but I've been kind of mid rankings, and I do always just think, oh, I'm not very good at obstacles. Like, should I be doing it? But the fact I know you don't have to just be good at obstacles. That's the whole point of obstacle course racing. It's not just the technical side of things. And I'm beginning to believe that a bit more now.
Yeah, running is a very important part.
Yeah,
Running's the
no.
most
You've
important
been
part.
the fastest people. You can also do obstacles.
Yeah, true. So yes, I will believe more.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Shall we,
No, it's good.
shall we just
Believe
shout out your the name of your mum, Leo, because maybe she'll listen to the podcast.
Oh, she definitely will. Yeah, as soon as she hears Ellie's been on it as well, she'll be loving it. Her name's Christine Medhurst, but everyone calls her Chris.
Hey,
That's a good name.
Yeah,
Hi, Chris.
she's probably one of the few. She'll probably buy one of the T-shirts when they become available on the Boss site, or she'll be there like Boss #1 fan. You know, she loves it. Loves all sport, anything sport.
I hope she's got her membership.
Actually,
Supporters
I think
membership.
she did. No, she was one of the. He was one of the members. Yeah, yeah.
No.
I'm waiting for her to turn up in the Accountability Corner T-shirt. Yeah.
Well, we have had some orders. Maybe she's one of the ones who's already got one.
She's in there. It wouldn't surprise me. We're going on holiday to the lakes with her next week. She'll be cheering
Chris,
Ellie
you
on
need
for
to
that,
shout her
so-
out on your podcast too.
I think we will. Yeah, we really will.
Definitely, she loves the sport.
Good. Good to hear.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So we don't have the standings yet. We haven't quite updated the provisional rankings. However, I can tell you that Dan will have gone to the top of the standings in the men. Fedi will have gone to the top of the standings in the women. Oh, now we've got the Spaniel on. And sorry, going to take another photo.
Do you want his and her spaniels?
There we go.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Again, sorry, listeners. I know this is not great sound, but we got it. Oh.
Tell you, Douglas.
How did you do that?
That's amazing. Is that laminated as well? Becky, is that laminated, that bit of paper?
Yes, I have a sticker. It says, "Tell your dog I said hi."
That is so cool.
If you don't follow We Rate Dogs on Instagram, then you're missing out. And for a long time, I didn't give in to the marketing, but now I have. And I have a T-shirt that says "Tell your dog I said hi," and I've got a free
That's
card.
so cool.
Maybe we
Tell your
need
dog
a hashtag OCR Dogs of Instagram. Hashtag, that's what we
Love
need
that.
next.
That is what my whole
Good
For You
idea.
page is, just golden retrievers.
But let's not forget cats either. We can't.
Oh yeah,
leave
cats.
cats
Oh
out.
yeah,
There
you
was
love
cat
cats.
earlier.
Oh,
yeah.
you see- okay.
OCR Cats of Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we got distracted by dogs, we were just saying that Dan will have gone to the top of the men's leaderboard. Fedi will have gone to the top of the female leaderboard. James, with his first run in the Masters, will have climbed the leaderboard. I think he's gone into about 15th place. Some movement there. Lou, female Masters, she will have gone to the top of those rankings too. As I say, we haven't quite updated them yet, but you can go to britishobstacles.org to go see the UK ICR series and the standings there. Guys, I think we're about done. Oh, feedback, of course. Feedback. So every time that we have the race, I jump on Facebook and members of British Obstacle Sports Facebook page and ask for their feedback. Most of them, for whatever reason, has gone to Chris rather than gone to me or slipped into anyone else's DMs. Chris, I know you got a bit of feedback. Over to you.
Great. I've got to do some reading. So no, I just sent out a quick message on Rumble's WhatsApp group just to get a few bits of feedback. So I got a quick message from Jason who said he really enjoyed it, lots of running, broken up with simple obstacles, hurdles, down trees, balance beams, etc. Swim was nice, proper muddy under the barbed wire and tire crawl, then through the stream. Obstacle gauntlet at the end was great, but they should reconfigure the course so we could do both laps of obstacles. So yeah. And then Shelley said the format on the course was multi-attempt burpee obstacles. Penalty was not consistently applied. I lost not only time but several places due to inconsistency on the donuts for those which we spoke about earlier who didn't make it across, or for some who attempted it altogether. Further frustrated as the obstacles was partly broken and the second lap therefore easier to get on the marshals. Not really observing by this point how you made it to the other side. Some course markers to be clearer sent around the tape frames on the tyre carry, whereas others went round the tree, not as far, and I know several people went off course. I got some positive ones somewhere.
Well, what we do, just before you do this, what we do in the OCR technical committee is we review all of the races in the OCR UK OCR series with all the feedback, including on those forms that you get sent out. So you can fill out those ones there, and we talk about it in the technical meeting, and then we actually have like capacity to make some things change. And and kind of send it back to the race directors and stuff. So that is helpful as well as the podcast, please.
Yeah, and we do need to make these races better, but it is really difficult for these smaller obstacle races to do it because we all have to work together to try and make these things better. So getting the feedback really does help these smaller obstacle races try and do better and get like the right things in place for the next time.
Take the barbed wire out would be the best feedback.
Oh yeah, we've already spoke about that.
Oh, have you? Oh yeah.
Well, not just today. We spoke about it many times.
All the time. It's like get rid of that barbed wire. And we also had one from Wendy. Great race, and it was wonderful to see so many juniors running later. Any chance of a junior competitive wave next year? And I'll put brackets Becky. That's definitely one to think about there.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked over several months about the potential for junior series as well. It's really, really complicated with the different restrictions that each individual race has. So we're still working on that. What we can make happen, we'll make happen. We're all very motivated people, but if you have suggestions, again.
Pint Size was commenting on that actually the other day on their little podcast.
And you had some other feedback.
Yeah, I did. Only one more. Got one more from Pip, and she said that she enjoyed the race, but again was my reading's so bad. I enjoyed the race, but again was in the chase pack. That made me work hard, and I have often had to run a race by myself. I did feel it was a steeplechase race and should have been more suspension obstacles on course. I was not keen on the women being sent out first, as men caught us at donuts and nearly got taken out by 5 different guys.
And we got some feedback from Laura Hayward. She said, such a lovely old school race with a modern twist. I'm dreadful at running such long distances, but thought the regularity of the obstacle placing was brilliant. A great use of the natural obstacles too. Fabulous Gloucestershire countryside, and weather really helped me keeping one foot in front of the other, even though all too often it was at walking pace. Event Village vibe was even better than last year, which is saying something. Top dollar marshals again, and the technical officials weren't too shabby either. Nice one, Laura. And I also got a little bit of feedback from Liam Mitchell. Liam Mitchell doing a few more of the UK Series races this year, as opposed to some of the Spartan races. And he said this was the best race he has done so far. The course was awesome, the layout and spacing of obstacles was spot on. The final gauntlet was a challenge and definitely tested you at the end, which was really smart. It caught a lot of people out, including myself. The race was really good. I had a solid performance, battling out for 4th place with Leo Brimcombe. Felt happy to chase the lead pack and end up finishing in 5th place. So yeah, it's really good seeing Liam having a few good races this year, and it's good to see him doing all right. So nice.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Pip. Thanks for all the feedback. Feedback is always really important. As Becky said, it goes back to a lot of the technical officials. It goes back to the board just to see how the race is going and how we can develop further in the future. Chris, it's probably not your reading. I don't think you've got your awesome glasses on today, so that's probably why you can't quite see the words very well. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. Leo, Ellie, thank you very much. You can follow Leo at LBrimmy on Instagram. As always, you can follow Chris Shipley at Obstacle Race Dude and our very own Becky Neal, the Runner Bean UK. For all of the information around the UK OCR League Series, you can follow at British Obstacle Sports. And if you haven't already, I mean, you should be, because you're listening to this podcast, you should be following UK OCR on all the channels at UK OCR. Once again, thanks to Ellie, Leo, Chris, Becky. We will be back soon for race number 6, which is Spartan Southwest Sprint. There's gonna go a lot going down there. August 11th, down there in Badminton in the southwest. So actually not so far from Rood Rampage. So we're staying down there. So it's goodbye from me, goodbye from everyone else, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Ain't no glory for the faint of heart. We all stars, win or lose, we don't play the part. And when the going getting tough, I get to going hard. You bring your best and you know I'ma tear them apart. We ready survival, rival. I ain't got no time for anyone who wait for they no work that I do. You ain't heard about us